Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Morning Mingle with me, Dr. Rani. And I'm gonna take a few breaths. I'm gonna set my timer because I don't want this to be more than 15 minutes. So, setting my timer. Start. Okay, so typically I pick a topic out of the hat. But something that's been on my mind, I want to say since last night, to be honest. I was in bed and I kept thinking about like where I'm at in life right now. And it finally felt like it was time to be transparent, and it got me thinking of like everything in my life, right? From the moment I'm born to like who I am today. And the first thing I'll start with is I'm a total mystic, right? So like, yes, I totally believe in astrology and our birth chart, and the stars were aligned a certain way when we were born, right? That's why we have our sun signs like from when you're born. So for me personally, my birth chart, when I was born, which I'm not going to share, but my top three, my sun sign is Aries, fire sign. My moon sign, emotions, is Sagittarius, fire. My rising sign, which is like how I appear to the world, is Leo, fire. So just in the top three, I'm all fire, okay? There's a couple here and there that are like earth and water. I think maybe one air, but I'm not sure. But basically, when you look at my natal chart, my birth chart overall, I would say 85 to 90% of it is fire. So I came into this world as the element of fire. Now, what does fire represent? Fire represents transformation, right? When you add heat to something, it transforms. So imagine coming into this world and you're just this flame, right? Right. And I always think of the movie Elemental. I think it was called Elemental. That girl, right? She was I related to it so much. But anyways, I come into this world all fire. And I'm also coming into this world as a child of immigrants in a country called America, where you are taught from a young age to be independent, self-sufficient, which is almost the opposite of what immigrant mentality is, right? Like where my parents came from, family was the rock, right? So you have a certain type of mentality leaving a country of like community, and family is the community, and you come to this country where you're coming to a better life for the next generation that you choose to bring into this world, right? But you're bringing them to a country where every day what's pushed on that new generation being born here is independence, take care of yourself, and it's like the complete opposite of the family community tradition, right? I'll come back to that later, but now imagine me, full fire sign, going through life thinking that's what I want. I want full independence. I want to be able to be self-sufficient. I want to make my immigrant parents proud, because that's why they came to this country, for me to obtain all these things, right? And I think also being brought up here, like you're fed certain things growing up, right? Like obviously both my parents worked in a hospital growing up, so it wasn't a foreign land to me. It was always very familiar. We would go with dad to pick up mom from work. So we would, be seeing their coworkers in the hospital and everything like that. So it was like normal and natural, right? Oh, there's doctors here. Oh, they help people, right? So like when you're born, you kind of have a core understanding of what you want to do when you grow up. Because everyone kind of has that blueprint, except that blueprint starts getting like layers placed on it based on those you surround yourself with, right? So like when you're young, it's your family, it's the house you live in, it's your siblings, it's your parents, that's the core, right? So innately, and I'll speak for myself, innately I know I want to help people, right? And then I'm being told, like I'm growing up, oh, we came here for you guys to get your education. Keep getting your education, get your education, right? So you move through life, okay, this is what I'm pursuing. I'm going to get my education. And you throw in things you enjoy here and there, right? Like for me growing up, because I was competitive, and that's an innate like fire thing, I played sports and I enjoyed it. So throughout my childhood, even into high school, and even some adult co-ed leagues after high school, I played sports. Those are things I enjoyed. But at the same time, it's still that like pursuing the degree, pursuing the thing, the reason why your family came here, right? And then at the same time now it's being told, okay, well, when you're in college, you'll meet the person that you're going to marry. And then you'll get married after you graduate, and then, you'll have kids and blah, 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 right? So this is all before 30. So you're chugging along life, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to get my bachelor's. I decided to get my bachelor's in kinesiology because I enjoyed kinesiology. I love absolutely everything about the human body. So to me, kinesiology was it. At the time, I wanted to do sports medicine, but that didn't pan out in the manner that I thought it would. Again, right? We make plans, God laughs. So moving along, graduate, get the degree. It's like, I didn't meet that person I was supposed to marry. Okay, now what, God, right? So then it's, okay, let me work. Let me figure out what I want to do with this degree. Thought about getting a master's. I applied to a master's program, got in, and like maybe a month into it, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do a thesis. I don't want to. I don't like research. So I made sure to drop out where I could still get a refund. So I dropped out of a master's program. Not sure if I've ever shared that with anyone, but anyways, now you're getting it, right? Full transparency. I promise there's a point, and if we go beyond 15 minutes, then we will, or it'll to be continued next week. So anyways, forget the master's, just keep working. Working at physical therapy office. I don't know if I want to do this. Yeah, not feeling it. Okay, move on to the next. Orthopedic sales. Okay, this isn't bad. The money's good. Almost bought a house, Didn't buy the house because I don't see myself in this job for 30 years. Why the F would I want to be tied to a mortgage for 30 years if I don't see myself in this job for 30 years? Okay, but I did learn. I like working with people. Yeah. Every encounter I had when I had the orthopedic sales job, I enjoyed working with the patient. I enjoyed being present for them, hearing them. Okay, gonna go back to school. Quit the job, go back to school. I think I'm gonna do nursing. Nursing's the easiest thing to cross over to with a kinesiology degree. At that time, this was a while ago. Start taking some nursing classes. I think it was like physics or something else. And then have a coworker, because I was still working at Kaiser at this time. And coworker's like, well, why nursing? Just go all the way. Become a doctor. Like, why would you just do nursing, right? Huh. She's not wrong. And fire, competitive, challenge myself, right? So started applying to medical schools. Applied for a supervisor job too at the same time. Because at this point, I was on my spiritual journey and I was leaving guidance up to God. Give me a sign. I'm applying for the supervisor job. I'm applying to medical school. Never heard about the supervisor job. Never heard back about my application. Got into medical school. Okay, this is the direction I'm supposed to go. Get everything situated, sell my car. At that time, my Honda Civic, I miss it so much. It was such a good car. But yeah, sell the car so I could put a deposit down and fly off to Aruba for medical school. All the while still on this spiritual journey where I'm trusting God's guidance. Land in Aruba, get my signs in Aruba. I'll talk about signs another day. Meet some incredible human beings. And let me tell you, leading up to this point, all through undergrad, I was very, very Western medicine. I was very science and research. Mom would come and be like, oh, they say, turmeric helps with this. Da 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 da. Mom, go to your doctor. Ask your doctor. I don't think things like turmeric are going to be helping you. You need to go get your lab work done. You need to go. When I say a complete 180 of who I am today, yeah, complete 180. Very much on this side of the spectrum when it came to Western medicine, allopathic medicine, science and research. And then graduated college, right? Things didn't go the way I wanted it to. There was a point where I moved out, which single Indian girls do not do before they're married. When you get married, that's when you move out. That's when the spiritual journey began. That's when I decided to go back to school. That's when I started trusting a higher power. Okay, so now we're in this place, entering medical school, right? And I'm doing this with my hands because it's how fluid the journey of life is, right? We have this trajectory that we think we're going on, but then this is what tends to happen. We sway back and forth, okay? A song popped up. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, we sway back and forth. And on the journey of medical school, in conjunction with a spiritual journey, I would question things on this side of the spectrum while also questioning things within myself and healing. And I reached a point in the journey where literally it was like a teetering back and forth. Like, well, this makes sense in this regard, but I got healthier not doing things that way, So this is why I wanted to talk a little bit about transparency, because excuse me if I start crying, I didn't think this was still something that needed to come to the surface and be let out. When I didn't get residency, it really put me in a deep, deep depression. Because I did everything. I canceled the timer. Because clearly I'm going over 15 minutes. I did everything the way the family, the society, this culture tells you to do. And nothing in my life was lining up the way that they said it would. The only thing that got me through that time in my life was working out. Because in the middle of medical school, I was studying for my step 1 exam. I had a moment. I was overweight. I was not healthy. I didn't like what looked at me in the mirror. And I remember having an epiphany of, how can I sit across from a patient and tell them they need to lose weight, they need to eat right if they want to see change in their life? I'm not someone who can live with hypocrisy. And I changed my study schedule completely around. I started going to the gym at 4 a.m. with mom at that time because she was getting up to go before work. And I'd come home, have my coffee, my breakfast, and then I would start studying. Working out has been on and off for me because I realized when I would have emotional moments, I would stop and I would start the emotional eating. But at that time it was like, well, I'm working out, I'm lifting heavy, so I'll eat whatever I want. It ebbed and flowed. But all through it, even though I knew I was experiencing sadness, at no point did I ever think I needed to reach for medication. And anytime suicidal ideations came through, there was also another voice that came through. That intuition, that inner light, that inner guidance of like, there's something more. Keep going. There's something more, keep going. And I'm grateful for that voice. Because that voice has gotten me to where I am today. And the reason I'm having this transparency conversation is because I'm finally not in this place where I'm going back and forth. Yesterday, I had an epiphany in the fact that like, why can't I choose something and stick to it? And it's because I would still teeter in this like, well, there's something for everyone, right? Like, I can't just talk about this because there's people that still need the Western medicine. There's people that still are on that level, right? I'm not. I haven't taken a pill in probably since 2017 or 18. And that was Advil. And that's my truth. That's my journey. I don't ever want to be someone who tells other people how to live their life, but I can share what I've done. I can share the things that have brought me joy and have gotten me through tough times. And I realized for myself, I'm at this point where I want to put the past underground, in the grave, in whatever you want to call it. Like, the past is now in the past fully. I am someone that is here to embrace ancient and holistic medicines because it's for the individual. And one thing I've always believed is you are your own experiment. If something feels like it resonates for you, you act on that and let it heal you. So many of us give our power away to other people because they tell us, you should do this, you should do that, this is what works, and we're being sold things. And if there's one thing that I want to do here and on this platform, is to let you know it's okay to try things for yourself. Don't give your power away. I talk to so many women that say they're feeling and experiencing certain things, and like their doctor doesn't hear them, or their doctor doesn't believe them. And it's like, only you live in your body. No one else is living in your body. And it's okay for you to search answers for yourself. It's okay. And I finally am in this place where I'm saying goodbye to the allopathic Western medicine side of things. Obviously, there's a time and a place. If I'm in a car accident or something, yes, take me to the doctor. Do something to stop the bleeding or something like that. But when it comes to living a life of longevity, living a life of joy, living a life of prevention, I don't agree with it. And it's taken me a long time to get to a place where I can say that with conviction, because I was teetering. What are people I went to school with going to think? What are they going to say? Are they going to try to argue with me about, like things like that? And I was getting in my own way. But at the same time, this whole transparency thing, I was in muddy water. I didn't want to speak about these things because the water wasn't clear yet. You know that there's like a not YouTube, there's like a video out there of a woman, like it's like a clear glass with like dirt and rocks and whatever, and she's like pouring water, and it's like as you pour and as it comes out, like old limiting beliefs are coming out eventually until the whole glass is like just clear water. I'm finally at that place where I'm just clear water. I mean, I'm sure there's still a little dirt here and there that's still going to pop up, clearly, because I was crying earlier. But in talking about transparency, I finally feel transparent enough to have these conversations, to stand by what I believe in, because it's what's worked for me, with conviction. And it's either going to be for people or it's not. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I'm not muting myself anymore. I'm not trying to live the way society has told me I'm supposed to live. Following that has only brought me pain, sadness, and the time I've taken away over the last couple years has really put into perspective what I want and how I choose to live, and to be able to do that on a daily basis, one day at a time, is how I choose to do it moving forward. So my pledge for those of you who care to listen or have even made it this far is to continue sharing the holistic things that have worked for me, the ancient methods that have worked for me, and whatever channeled messages that need to come through now that I'm embracing the the mediumship and psychic gifts that I have. So if you are here, thank you. It's funny because no one was on this live. And yeah, I love you guys. I'm excited for what's to come, and I love you. Take care.